Hi, everybody. It's been a while, and I have a new hat and a new statue, but that's not what I'm going to talk about today. Today, the Veve market has changed a little bit. I think we definitely need to discuss it. Thank you to everybody that supported me. I took a nice break. It was about 6 weeks, I think, and it was really good. Was able to recharge my batteries and just think about the market in general. I think it's good to take a break from things, as I discussed. But a couple housekeeping things. I did get this new hat from my lovely wife. I thank her very much. She's been a great supporter of the channel and of me in general, of course. There has been some people that are interested in these. I suppose you could put it in the comments or DM me on Twitter. My Twitter handle is Sleeping Comics. If I get enough people, maybe we'll try to bundle together an order somewhere, and I can facilitate all of that. Let me know. Additionally, I did get this incredible statue from Dre. She hand paints these, I believe, and 3D prints them. So if you're interested in these, they're super cool. I think it was about $100 US. Let me know on Twitter or below, and I can give you her information. And let's support people in the Veve family. Super fun. Love it. So what is the single biggest thing that changed in the last 6 weeks that I was gone? I think it's the number of users on the app. So you're thinking, wait a minute, how did that change? And it's really a perception. I think before we were under the perception, and I have said this many times on this channel, is that there were, a million plus users, and we were gaining, and I said this, 30 to 40,000 new users a day. That number was given to us by Veve, and clearly over the past 6 weeks, because of different things that have happened and different measurements that we have now, that's clearly not the case. I think that it's an issue now of credibility now with Veve. I think that number, I understand why they magnified that number, maybe for investment, marketing. We understand that companies do this, but clearly when we're looking at it from our perspective as collectors, as investors, there's new numbers that we need to look at and we should look at. And as we know as savvy investors, we want to do our own research. That's a theme of this particular channel, and that's why I have my website, Veve Rank. There, if you go look at a comic, you can go collect on your own, or eBay on your own, or Key Collect. I try and provide a number of links to do your own research, as they say. Don't trust me, go look at it yourself. And this is going to be the same case. I think we no longer can, whatever number or metric that they got saying, 1 million or 2 million, not saying they're lying. I actually do think there were users created, but as we know, many of those were bots. So what measurements can we look at so that we can, understand these things for ourselves? And over the past 6 weeks, I think 4 people have really done a great job. So I'm going to create a page on Veve Rank where you can link to those things. I'll talk a little bit about what those measurements are. I'll also link them below, but let's talk about them right now. So the first one was a guy on Twitter named Pyromaniac, and he was one of the first people to investigate the blockchain and figure out that a large percentage of these drops, unfortunately, were going to bots. I think I was under the impression that it was 5% or so, and using his research, he showed that it was like 70%, which is incredible. Now, Veve did and has really done a great job of turning the tide against that, and his research has shown that that's way down below now. Single-digit percentage points, which is excellent. And they did that by, stopping gem transfers, NFT transfers, and obviously probably tuning their bot detection. And that's something that has really affected the market over the last 6 weeks. The next person is a guy named Bravos Assassin on Twitter, and he does numbers, once again, off of the blockchain, and has figured out there's about 9,000 users or wallets that have more than 100 comics or collectibles. That's a far cry from some of the numbers we were thinking before when they had said there was 1 million, 2 million users. Then I was thinking, oh, well, then how many, big whales have a lot of stuff? I was thinking maybe 10,000, 20,000. No. According to his numbers, 9,000. And he has been continuing to update that. I will link that below. Another person, Veve Fox, has a new tool out called the Veve X Tracker, and that is tracking trade volume, buys versus sells, another interesting thing, and will allow us to see how the market is progressing in that manner. And then the last person who's been around a long time, who people might know, is Pudding Cheeks, and he has a great spreadsheet which shows us the amount of gems that are purchased each day. All these things show more things than I have mentioned here, but I'll let you go do your own analysis on some of that. If you have questions or questions from them, definitely go check out these things. But what does this mean? Number one, it means, of course, it's not that we can't trust VV for everything, but we need to do our own research. And the blockchain, which is a great technology, allows us to see that type of stuff, and we should do it. So I'm looking at those types of things along with in the market. I've said before that I look at Todd, Superman, and Joker. I've added the common Black Panther to that. I'm looking at those kind of key older NFTs to understand where the market is going. I feel like if there was a new influx of users and whatnot, they most likely would come in, maybe buy a Black Panther, a Joker, etc. So I specifically look at those. There's obviously other comics and ones that we want to look at too. But if you look at the last 6 weeks, we've kind of been continuing to move down. It's actually stabilized to a certain degree, and we've seen some comics move up a little bit. But for the most part, I think the market is still sliding down a little bit or stable, depending on what measurements you're using. So I think it's a combination of all these different things. If we were to see, go to a couple of these measurements and see there's way more wallets now suddenly, or there's, huge amounts of trade volume. Black Panther is really picking up and is now suddenly over, 100 gems. These types of things would indicate to us that the market is moving upwards. And that's what I'll be looking at. I'll be looking at all these different measurements and coming to my own conclusions. So let me step back a little bit and talk about Veve in general from like a 10,000 foot perspective. Obviously, we've learned a couple new things over the past couple, weeks, months, and it's difficult because it's hard to see all of our NFTs slide in value. Now, some could say, they were overvalued, so they just fell anyways. So I don't know what you expect. Or some people could say, well, this is great. You can buy everything for a very low price right now, and soon it will blow up and go to the moon. And all of that may be true. And everybody has their opinions, and that's great. From my opinion, it is obviously a little bit disturbing to see things slide. But I try to, back up and look at why was I bullish about this project in the beginning, and do those fundamentals still exist? And the key piece of it is the brands. For me, obviously, I'm a comic collector. Collecting comics that have been licensed from Marvel in this new space. I do believe in blockchain. I do believe that there will be, huge elements of the metaverse that will affect society. And so that fundamental piece keeps me involved. And I do think that it is up to the company to continue to push and get MTL and OUP and MCP, all these acronyms, right? And I do think that they are going to fulfill those. The question is the timeline, of course. But in the end, when you fast forward 2, 3, 4 years, I still don't think that other companies will be able to have these particular brands. And if there is any utility or value that's provided, I definitely think these will be worth a lot of money. So let me add that I am going to do a video talking more specifically about utility and value. I think that's a word that we throw around a lot. I know a lot of people have a lot of ideas, but I definitely have mine too. So thank you guys all. I really appreciate all the support. I'll talk to y'all soon.